with Nate Bargatze.
Huh?
The comedian Nate Bargatze.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I've seen like one clip of that, and I was like, I'm good.
Disclosure Day comes out Friday, though. They are playing that.
Any? Okay. Stream's working, by the way. We're not live yet, but.
Oh yeah, and we our audio sounds good, by the way.
Good. Wait, how do you know I'm not live yet?
No, it's live.
Oh, it didn't even ask me to do the second live thing. Oopsies. Sorry, it's gonna be. It might.
Good thing you weren't saying the things you typically were.
Yeah. Well, oopsies. I was hitting the record thing because I've been trying to use the record function on here again because the quality is a little bit better instead of like downloading it off of YouTube. Let me turn my fan off real quick too. Okay. All right, so yeah, the breadwinner, whatever, and then I do want to see Masters of the Universe, but if I'm being totally honest, I think I'm just gonna wait till it's out on like digital. Yeah.
Kind of like what we did for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Which you said you haven't seen yet.
Correct.
Okay.
But it just got out on digital.
Okay. We've talked about this before, and I will probably have to say this over and over and over again. I'm at this point, and this is going to relate a little bit to our discussion of God of War Laufey. I think that's how you say it. Later, because I think I want to talk about obsession up front. Actually, how do you want to approach this? Because I'll say I'm very positive about one of the things we're talking about today, and I don't want to say like really negative, but I'm not feeling very positive about the other thing we're going to talk about. Because like I told you, I was like, I'll do a little research into one of these.
Let's lead off with the positive. How about that?
Okay. So, okay. Well, we'll start with obsession, but I guess let's do what I would call some housekeeping. Oops, I did not. Okay, hang on. Golly, dude, we missed 1 week, and I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing anymore on our live.
You and me both.
Okay,
it's all good, man.
Housekeeping. What I do with housekeeping is I tend to just save smaller stories, or just little things.
The only thing
for
I'm
us to talk about.
disappointed in with you is that you didn't do the thumbnail I mentioned today.
Oh, bro, that would have taken forever.
I know. I was just messing with you.
Okay. So this I just found out, according to Variety, 24 Jump Street is officially in the works.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Sequel, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I don't know prequels. Ugh. I think at this point in life, I'm not a fan of prequels. We'll save that one. Have you seen? I don't want to talk like very long about this because I don't have a ton to say, but they're remaking the campaign for Halo 1.
I did see that.
But there's no multiplayer.
Oh, really?
As far as now, someone can argue with me, or if someone has like a direct link to someone being like, yes, there's multiplayer in this, but they're calling it campaign evolved, which makes me think that there is no multiplayer in this. And they're talking about the multiplayer, like co-op multiplayer and all that. If this is like $70 or $80, there's not a chance I'm getting this.
Oh, no.
Not a chance. It's too like I can play the original campaign. Like I own it.
What was the last game you spent that much on?
Well, it wasn't Pragmata because I think that was 60. If Crimson Desert, I think, was the last.
The last one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I spent 70 on that. I just spent 90 on
That's fine.
The deluxe version of college football.
Okay. Well, and you're going to play the crap out of that. Like, it's all about Like if you're
And I haven't played any of the new ones.
yeah.
Well, that's technically not 100% true. When I went down for a funeral last year, when I was at my um, brother's house, I played it. I played like 2025 for like an hour, maybe, if that.
Yeah.
So got like an hour in.
Yeah, I don't typically buy new games anymore unless they get unless people I trust are saying like, yeah, it's pretty good. And then even then a lot of the time I'm going to watch some gameplay to see if I'm like kind of digging it, you know? Yep. And I mean, it's the reason I didn't get James Bond is because I watched a few people play it and I was like, this looks boring.
Dude.
I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for that because people like love that game. And I honestly, it looks very dull.
It does.
And like uninspired.
I watch people play it as well.
Yeah.
About the same thing.
Not to mention like if you want to go into like the details of the driving mechanics and it's very hand-holdy. It looks very hand-holdy, even on the hardest difficulty. AI doesn't seem very good. I haven't played it, obviously, and I'm not going to. I have no interest. You know, maybe it'll be on like PS Plus or something one day, but I have no interest in it. And it's funny because I saw something recently about Daniel Craig said the reason that James Bond movies got serious and dark was because of the Austin Powers series. We had to destroy the myth because Mike Myers messed us up. I'm a huge fan, but he made it impossible to do the gags, which isn't true. It was a direct line from the Bourne movies into the new James Bond series because that was the popular thing at the time. Right. That everybody knew that at the time, and it's just like the constant like rewriting of history is kind of crazy with that. Like that's why they went that route. Everybody knew it when Casino Royale came out, and I like Casino Royale. I think it's a pretty good movie. And then I think those movies get kind of progressively worse for the most part. The Quantum of Solace is pretty bad. They're just not that great. And man, No Time to Die is like one of the worst James Bond movies I've ever seen. It legitimately might be my least favorite James Bond movie ever.
Is it just me? And I don't mean this to be any type of way, like to the actor. Like I like Daniel Craig as an actor, but he never had that James Bond look to me. It seemed like he was miscast for the role.
I kind of think so too. I think they were trying to... I think
his acting's great in it. Like he does a good job acting in the movie.
Yeah, especially the first one. And I like what they did with Casino Royale and like setting him up to have like lost the love of his life, and that's kind of what sets him down the path for like who he becomes.
Right.
And then I just kind of think they fumbled their way through the rest of the series for the most part. Like they're semi-entertaining movies up until the very last one, but mostly forgettable. And
you're not wrong.
They're not fun. And that's kind of one of the things I noticed about that game too, is that it doesn't look fun, you know?
Which is a big thing.
Yeah. And that's like a big appeal to that. I'm cool with James Bond being cool and also having some of those like wacky gadgets. Like if you play it seriously, you can have both. We talk about that a lot.
Yep.
It's like you just have to take...
You have to strike.
Yeah, you just have to take the material seriously. It's something else we'll talk about with Obsession, because I think it walks that line really, really well.
You almost make me want to watch Obsession.
I mean, honestly, dude, I mean, if you don't want me to do major spoilers, I will stay away from major spoilers.
No, you could do major spoilers.
Okay. I might not do all of them, but I'll go into like a little more detail than I would typically.
I want us to get bad comments on our...
It's not... Yeah, we'll get into that. Okay. A couple more things. Allegedly, Zack Snyder has gotten another job, if you can believe it. He'll be directing the remake of John Carpenter's Escape from New York. So
I saw
expect
that.
lots of slow motion, lots of terrible dialogue, everything that
It's
he's
gonna
known
be slow
for.
mo when the buildings get destroyed,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
bricks
And then,
and
yeah,
mortars
just
flying everywhere, but in slow mo.
somebody's going to be shopping in New York in slow motion, putting beans into their cart.
You're gonna watch them as the beans slip out of their hands.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. I think we've talked about everything else. They're doing a Conan the Barbarian sequel. That
I think he needs to just recapture his magic from 300.
maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Even that movie, I'm like, I watched that I think last year because I was going back and watching like a lot of stuff I hadn't seen in a while. It's kind of a mixed bag. There's a lot that I like in it, but I think the things that I like in it is the stuff that he took directly from the comic. Because it's like, I like the way
That makes sense.
like visually, like the way the bad guys look, like the Persians are, and I don't think, obviously it's not historically accurate, but like they're very like
Right.
gross.
It's not.
Oh, Joseph.
David, I was a major in history. Let me tell you, it's 100%.
A very accurate story. Yeah. But there's a lot that I like in it. I think like Leonidas, like as a character in that can be like very inspirational, and I think part of it too is that we've gotten to the place where we just don't see things like that anymore. So it's like, man, like we really did have it good. It was like even the stuff that like today I'd be like, whatever. Like even if I'm like, yeah, that movie's like, it doesn't hold up for me the way that I think it did when it first released, I'm still looking at it being like, it's still way better. I mean, it's definitely up there in the Zack Snyder catalog now. I mean, not that that's...
Yep.
I think that Dawn of the Dead and Watchmen are probably the only things that you could be like, yeah, you could watch that, you know?
Yeah. I agree with you on that. If 300 was made now, the Queen would have been the protagonist, or like not even the protagonist, but would have been the savior in some type.
She would have been the protagonist of the sequel for sure, because that's what they do now.
Yep.
I was gonna ask you something and it slipped my mind.
That's okay. We were talking about 300. I think you're gonna ask me something that didn't have anything to do with 300.
Probably. Cool. All right. Well, let's talk about Obsession.
Let's do it.
All right.
Oh, we're gonna ask me to tell everyone we're live?
I thought about it, but then I didn't really want to bring it up in the middle of the show, so I was like, I'll just do it real quick and try not to. Anyway, thanks, Joseph.
You're welcome.
All right, so Obsession. Obviously, I'm gonna say spoilers, but I'm gonna do my best. I will not spoil the last 20 minutes of the movie, and I'll say this. I think that this movie's got like a weird amount of layers to it, and I would love to pick the brain of the guy that wrote it. And I don't know if the material itself just like, and the way that it was written just lends itself to the layers. But it's been a while since I've seen a movie that does a really good job being a commentary on humanity and like kind of modern culture and modern relationships, but is not
Really?
preaching at you. The movie is not trying to get you to like essentially like fall into like a camp per se. I think it does a very good job of showing you like these characters. The characters are, you know how like we talk a lot about how a static character can actually be like really good in a story, like that someone who doesn't change through. Yeah, the main character in this is 100% that, and you don't obviously like you don't realize it until the movie ends. Because you have to see like the full story. Like he has a progression, right? Like he has a journey, but he doesn't change as a character from the beginning to the end, and it's so cool to see in a way, because basically the way that I guess I would describe it without giving too much away is that the situation heightens who he already was. It doesn't like change him into something different. And I don't remember the last time I saw that and was like, wow, they actually did that really well. It's very, very intentional, and it's small, right? And I love that because it doesn't get like lost for the most part in like its own narrative. There's like a couple things in it. There's one part towards the end where I feel like the movie falls into like this absurdity for like a minute. Like there's just this one decision that they made with the script at the end where I was like, okay, like I don't know if you really needed to go that far with it. It's not like bad or anything. But there's just this like one decision at the end where I was like, oh, and it was almost like done for laughs more than anything else, which was fine. I'm just not 100% sure that it was necessary. I think the movie deals with like a lot of really heavy subject material.
Like what, for example?
Seeing someone for who you want them to be and not who they really are.
Like your rose-colored glasses.
Mm-hmm, but like to a detrimental degree.
Yep.
There's like a little bit.
I like when people get in relationships and then they fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Because they're just.
Yeah.
I know that's probably not exact, but part of it.
I'm telling you, I think this movie, and I've always been like, I've been kind of curious about it. I think the movie held up the mirror to sort of like kind of like modern dating culture, the way people kind of act in their friend groups, and a lot of sort of the like almost like pulling back the rug and all of the cockroaches are kind of like scattering. It's like hitting home at a lot of these things about like the way that and I think it's like for all of us, right? Like the way that people hit or like react in relationships, the things that people keep from even their closest friends, that like bringing that stuff to light ultimately would lead to better outcomes. And each of the characters in this, except for Nikki, who is the main actress, I think that one's kind of a tough one just because of like the way that her story goes, like the way that like everything progresses with her throughout the movie. I think her friend group is, and I don't want to say toxic because to be honest, I think that the word's overused. It's not fair either.
Toxic and ick.
Yeah. I think the way that I would explain it is that all of them have sort of these even Nikki, they have to kind of do it proactively with her because of what happens to her. But each of them is like hiding things from somebody else in the friend group, and really because of all of that, it adds to the problems that persist throughout the movie that slight spoiler, it kind of like ruins their friendships. And I'm being very like
interesting.
It's I'm when I say it ruins their friendships, I'm
depth.
you know. And dude, it's the main character, his name's Bear. It's short for something, Bernard or something. They mention it like once in the movie, and it's, you know, I saw it last week. I can't quite remember like what his full name was, but his name's Bear. Is what all his friends refer to him as. He's in love, or at least in love with the idea of one of his friends. And it's complicated as to like where that really lands for him, because he's known Nikki for a really long time.
Right.
So what I would probably tell you, and like some of this is from personal experience, and I think that's what I'm saying is like the movie, like it hits you in certain places where it's like he's known her for a really long time, and I think what it is that it's not that he's aware of her faults, but he refuses to notice them. Like he refuses to acknowledge that she has flaws.
Right. He probably justifies them in his mind or in the dialogue somehow.
Yeah, and it's subtle, right? Like and it's one of the things that's like really great about the movie is that it's not, for the most part, it's not beating you over the head with its like themes and like what's going on. Like it's pretty straightforward, but like if you're paying attention, there's a lot of like really interesting things happening with the characters. And that's what I'm saying is like the depth is there, and I'm curious if it was like written in there or if it's something that because of the subject material, it just sort of like unfolds sort of like an onion, you know? It's got all these like layers to it.
Yep.
I think the two leads are incredible. The two of them should be getting quite a bit of work off of this.
Should we talk about what one of the leads said?
So, as far as I am aware, it was something that the art director said, and people looked into how much India, who's the actress, I forgot what her last name is. I was going to check real quick. It came to light what she made for the role, but I have not seen a single thing specifically saying, like, here is a quote from her saying, like, I wish I, like, the only thing that I've seen is that people were quoting the art director saying the art director thinks that they should have gotten like bonuses on the back end, which, whether that's the case or not, it's kind of beside the point because it's not the way that it works. And I even saw someone, and I don't know if this is true or not, but they were saying that Miles Teller got $8,000 for Whiplash.
Oh yeah,
which is like another indie movie, which I highly recommend. Whiplash too. It's actually kind of similar to this, and like you want to talk about like both of those movies are very like intense. And Whiplash is kind of more of a horror movie than people like, because it's a drama technically, but it's got kind of the like pacing and intensity of like something like Obsession. Like it kind of keeps you like gripping your chair while you're watching it.
Well, I think something that I brought up to you was that even if you don't get paid that much for a movie, it can open massive doors to you. Take Lord of the Rings, for example. I remember seeing an interview with Orlando Bloom saying, I would have done that movie for free just because of how much it helped my career.
Yeah.
And this is one of those movies where it kind of captures the culture. I mean, you got AMC had their largest month of May since before COVID, since 2019 for attendance.
Yep.
And then also, dude, you know, for 22 days of work, $20,000 is a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. And I
think people forget that in the context of everything.
Yeah.
You know, because of how we see how much people in Hollywood make. I would gladly take $20,000 for
20 days, 22 days, like basically a month. And then people were saying like she's done some other stuff. I couldn't tell you like on the interview circuit and other things like that if they're paying her to like come on as a guest. I assume they are.
Probably.
If I was her like team or whatever, whoever she has like as a manager, I'd be like, if I'm going on like Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, which if I was her manager, I'd tell her you don't need Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel needs you.
Yeah.
Like this movie has turned you into a bigger star than him. Like,
oh, yeah,
without a doubt. Excuse me, a little congested. Yeah, I would be like she would be getting paid for these like appearances essentially. And I would assume that's the standard. That part of the industry I'm just not like super familiar with, but I would assume that's the standard. Like you don't like if someone's coming on like SNL or whatever, I'm assuming like they're getting paid like as the guest because you're getting
100%.
booked. You're getting booked, and you're still like doing a gig or whatever.
Get paid for your time.
Mm-hmm. So she's doing fine, folks. Now the rest of them too, like the art director, like you're the art director on what potentially is gonna, maybe not like it may not hit, obviously I don't think it's gonna hit $1 billion, but I don't think even by the end of the year it's gonna be far off to say that this is one of the biggest movies of the year, if not the biggest. Like it is making a crater in the industry, just absolutely dominating like metrics and like just the amount of money that this is making on its budget. It's absurd.
It's killing it, man.
And it's cool to see because this is literally, we talk about this all the time, and I think we mentioned this the last time we recorded, but this is what we want to see. We say it all the time with like these other overbloated projects. I mean, even look at Masters of the Universe. Like that movie costs a lot to make, and it's not going to make its money back. And
even though people are reviewing it well,
yeah,
and it just goes to show that. And we not only talked about it. That's a good point, bringing up Masters of the Universe, because that's a situation where okay, it had a large budget and people are, praising it. I mean, they're not saying it's the best, movie ever, but they're saying it's a decent movie, it's a good movie, and it's still not making its money back. But then you have when we reviewed A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, how they had a limited budget, and we talked about how that served them because they had to come up with creative ways to tell the story and to showcase it to us. Exactly. And that limited budget actually served them rather than hindered them. And it's the same thing with Godzilla -1, right? That had a $15 million budget allegedly, and look how well that movie did. So budget doesn't mean everything. It's about how good is your story. That's the primary thing, your story and characterization. CGI, all the technical stuff comes second.
Yeah. And man,
people are more than willing to be forgiving for that stuff.
Yeah. I think that the art direction in this, I think that his director of photography, the audio guys, the people behind the scenes doing the little bit of like visual work that the movie has in it, everybody was killing it. And I love this, and it's why, like, I don't want to say like the normie perspective on it, but like people who don't legitimately, there's just a lot of people that don't understand how this works, even on kind of like a fundamental level, and they're upset because they saw something that they liked and they felt that someone like that people were being treated unfairly. And it's like, but they're not. It's like
they willfully signed that contract.
Yeah. Now, because
here's the flip side of that: if the movie wouldn't have done well, let's say it bombed, would they have been required to give back their salary?
Right. It's stupid. It's like you sign a contract, you get paid a salary, you agree to it for what seems fair, and then it's out of your hands at that point. That's just how it works, And it's
now me and you, if it was us, we would be like, let's give everyone bonuses.
Yeah, I would have tried to figure if I would this movie is going to potentially hit $330 million, maybe even more than that. I don't know what it's sitting at currently. That was just the last thing that I saw reported. If I was, who was it? Blumhouse, or was it Focus Features?
Focus Features. Yep.
I mean, if it was me, and this is just a personal thing. If it was me, I would have found out a way. I don't know, like, as far as profit-wise, like, what you would really be able to do and what would make sense. People would complain even, though. They'd be like, oh, it's made this much money and you only gave them this much. You can't win with people most of the time. But, yeah, I think
you got a bonus for $100,000. I mean, that's a lot of money. Yeah. Now, granted, it is California, so I'm sure California and the federal government's going to take $40,000, so it's really $60,000. But
that's the thing, man.
That's minimum. If they do it in a bonus structure, that's a minimum 33% off the top.
Mm-hmm. And when you work in the arts, having something like this on your portfolio is massive. Massive. At this point, anyone who worked on this film can be like, I helped with Obsession. And it'd be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll probably use you. It's like there's so much goodwill moving forward. Like, don't mess it up for yourself. Like, stop talking. Like, just be like happy that you were a part of something like this, and like move on to better projects and contract yourself out for higher pay next time. It's like that's the way that it works.
That's how you do it. That's
Yeah.
career progression.
Yeah. It's like incredible. Like, let the win be the win. Like, don't try to create losses out of nothing. Like, it's crazy, dude. But yeah, dude, the cast is incredible. They're all pretty much unknowns. You know, none of them are obviously, right. Like, none of them were making like huge salaries off of this. And they did great. And it's just like, this is like. And obviously, Hollywood's going to learn the wrong lessons from this. They're going to think everybody just wants these like low budget teen, yeah, and and that's the thing to success, which it can be. I mean, that's like Blumhouse's model, but like this movie's like well written. The characters are well written. You can tell that a lot of love was put into it, and it like meant something to the people that were making it. And that won't be the case for a lot of stuff that follows in its footsteps. And if, God forbid, they decide to do a sequel or they turn the Wishing Willow thing into it's the Willow Wishing, the Wishing Willow universe, and it's like people making these wishes or whatever. It's not going to work out the same way because it's like that wasn't the driving factor behind this. This is almost like lightning in a bottle. And if they make a sequel, it probably will do well. Like, don't get me wrong. They'll give it like $1 million, $2 million budget. It'll probably still do well, but it's diminishing returns at that point if there's no real like heart and passion behind the project. It's not going to it'll peter out. It'll kind of probably go the same way as something like what was the stupid ghost movies? Paranormal Activity.
Yeah. Hey, that movie made a lot.
They made a lot of money, but they were real dumb movies.
They were.
I think
what it was the zeitgeist at the time.
Something
that paranormal stuff was really popular then. It just kind of hit at the right time.
Agreed. Never understood those. Just never. It was kind of like the Blair Witch Project. I remember hearing from people, scariest movie ever made, blah, blah. And then like I watched it and I'm like, it's literally people running around in a forest screaming, "Oh, where's Sarah? Why do the sticks look like that? Oh, what's going on?" And it was like a massive success. It was just so scary. I'm like, okay, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay to be wrong.
It was just them talking into a camera, right?
Oh, dude, it is not a very good movie, honestly.
If I remember correctly.
It was another one of those things that it hit at the right time, and it just blew up, and everybody got kind of captured by it. But yeah, it's not very good. There's a reason that series like isn't really remembered all that well. It's just kind of a piece of history at this point. I'm trying to think of like what else.
We should make a new one.
Okay, so just for everybody who may not know, or is like not 100% sure what's going on with the movie, or is only seeing the memes, essentially, our main character Bear is in love with one of his best friends, and he can't bring himself to ask her out or tell her how he feels. It's kind of the first like 15, 20 minutes of the movie is like really dealing with that pretty hard. Up until the point, Joseph, and I wasn't sure how this is like a minor spoiler, but like up until the point where she confronts him directly about it. Like, it's not one of those things, because I thought they were going to play it more subtle, where she like kind of knew and probably wanted him to do it. And then there's like hints in the movie that maybe she really did have feelings for him. And she straight up dead looks at him like he drops her off at her house, and she goes, "Do you like me?" And he goes like, oh yeah, we're like really great friends. And she goes, "Okay," and like walks away, and he's like, "Stupid." And essentially he comes across this thing called a wish. I think it's called a wishing willow. And it's the stick that if you break it, you get one wish. I think they play it pretty well with him being like just thinking it's this dumb like tchotchke, right. And that has no like real effect. And he does it, and then she immediately, her like whole demeanor changes. And right from the there's obviously like something weird going on because some of the things that she does, but like the movie is kind of this mix of subtle but also being very much like, yeah, clearly something's wrong with her. And it's more about Bear's reaction to some of the like insane things that she does and how he just sort of like ignores it because he finally got what he wanted.
Yep.
Even if it's not real.
Good for him.
Well, the thing is it's essentially like a fantasy. So the theory, and then I was talking to somebody about it yesterday too, and they kind of added on to it. So again, spoilers, but his cat dies at the beginning, on accident, and so the theory is that the personality that Nikki that embodies Nikki from his wish, he essentially it's not like really a possession in the traditional sense. He essentially, when he makes this wish, a new entity is created that has taken over Nikki. So old Nikki still exists, but this new entity is essentially stronger than that, and so it's taken over her body. And it's a mixture of what Bear has projected onto Nikki and the loss of his dead cat. So she has, it makes a lot of sense when you're watching the movie that she has a lot of almost like cat-like personality to her, and the kind of the cleanliness and the way she brings like presence to him, and the way that she's trying to do things that like cats do that are kind of weird, that you're like, why are you doing this? Yeah. Mixed with what essentially becomes what he thought he wanted in like the idealistic version that he has of Nikki in his head. And it essentially creates this like really horrific scenario that he's completely blind to, because, like the title of the movie, he's obsessed with her. The only thing that he really cares about is that he's with her. All of the other stuff it gets.
They lean into that really well, don't they?
They do. In ways that it still feels so realistic.
So it's like, did they kind of get into the codependency aspect of
for both of them,
relationships like that?
Yep, for both of them, and that it almost, I don't know if I'm using this quite correctly, but like the Stockholm syndrome. Ooh. Sort of thing. Okay. To the point of where it becomes dangerous for the people around them, and that's where sort of the horror element comes in. But it plays it so well. It's just this very like even climb, like you're going up this roller coaster, and there's there's a couple things that happen, right? Because, again, it's just that climb. You're getting higher and higher. Like, everyone in the audience is seeing the things that are going on, and you're just like, this is going to lead to something, like, really, really bad. And then it just hits this peak and drops you. And I'm telling you, Joseph, by the time it was a Tuesday night, packed out theater on a Tuesday night at like 7 o'clock.
Dang, dude.
This movie's been out for like
crazy.
It's been out for like a month. That's
crazy these days.
What's up, Whoopa? The movie ended and it hits like the credits. Could hear a pin drop in the theater, and I was just like, that's man, awesome. I've talked to a couple of people who said they really liked it and they'll never watch it again. This wasn't one of those movies for me. Like this very much for me, I think could be like
wasn't All Quiet on the Western Front.
No, it's got a lot of that there, but no, I'll never watch All Quiet. I loved All Quiet on the Western Front. I'll never watch that again.
Yeah,
this I could watch like in October. It's kind of got for me personally, it's a lot like You're Next. It's like one of the other ones that I really, really like.
Gotcha.
Where I'm just like, it's got this very, okay, I can like sit down and I can be in the mood to watch this again because I love like the details, and there's something about it being an indie film that it's doing so well. Whoopa says, Gen Z horror movies show off the two scariest things for our generation: women and your basement. Talking about the back rooms. One of the funniest jokes that's come out of this is that the movie is just a documentary on dating a Latina.
So what you're saying is, with the success of this movie, that there's no longer a need for movie stars. Just let everybody star in one movie and then just recycle.
No. I think at least in our current climate, if you will, the age of movie stars is pretty much done. No,
Yeah.
you know, we're in this weird time where everybody's the influencer culture is still a thing, though I think that's on
The decline.
the decline. I think people are starting to realize how like fake and gay all of that is. All of it, dude. Happy Pride Month, by the way, Joseph. But it's that kind of stuff that's like, people don't care what celebrities have to think anymore. People are at almost
what
at a
we
point.
care about now is AI influencers.
I hope not.
That's on the rise.
I think that what people are going to be searching for is intentionality in the things that
Authenticity.
and this movie's just pouring over with it. Now, I'll say this. Movies like Obsession, they need counterparts in the industry. This movie has a very I'll just say it's a very sad ending. It works for the type of movie that they were trying to make. It's not that I have a problem with it. But the thing that I was thinking about was like, okay, I'm totally fine with this being a thing, but we also need the movies where people rise above. So basically, like, you have the opposite of like who Bear was. So Bear, he can never come to terms. Like, he's always failing at the things that he's doing because he cannot bring himself to essentially what I would say is man up, which people don't like, but that's essentially what it is that he is the embodiment of the inability to do the hard things that you need to do. And it's he's given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, right? Like, he has the opportunity to essentially like do what he needed to do to win over Nikki and tell her the truth, like, damn the consequences. But he couldn't do it, and he took the easy way out. He had the opportunity to potentially fix the situation, but instead of doing that, he just decided to stay with her because that was the easy thing to do. It's what he wanted. It was the easy thing to do. And then there's a few more incidences like that. He still refuses to do it, doesn't make the right choices, and ultimately it ends up breaking their the friend group completely apart. And it's tragic. It's a tragedy, ultimately. And I'm 100% down with movies like this and stories like this. I think that it works really well. But it can't. You basically need stuff on the other side of that is the opposite, right? And so I would say something like Godzilla -1, great example of something similar, but where the character's path takes the path of becoming the hero and doing the right thing in the end and being willing to sacrifice everything for the people that he loves.
Yep.
Very much an opposite, but
that high element.
Mm-hmm. But that's why I'm saying you need both. You need people who are writing stories and making movies that are, like I said, kind of shining light on humanity in ways that sometimes makes people uncomfortable without pushing like a crazy agenda, right? Like, I think we're moving away from like the hyper politicized, like, slowly, but I think we are starting to move away from like the hyper politicized stuff in movies because it does not sell. People don't want it. Gaming industry hasn't figured this out yet, but I think the movie industry has. They will. It's going to probably take a couple more $100 million losses, but it'll happen.
You're right.
And honestly, man, like, I know it's
teaching you this lesson, old man.
I know it's not your thing, and there is one there's a really violent moment towards the end of the movie But
That's okay.
I highly recommend this movie. I think it is just, will probably end up somewhere on my top 3 at the end of the year. Because
No kidding.
right now, Project Hail Mary and this are the best movies I've seen this year.
Really?
Yeah. And I told you at the beginning of the year, Joseph, told you at the beginning of the year, I think this year is going to be a lot better than last year. It already is.
Yep. I
both
think
of these
talked about it.
Both of these movies are far better than I think anything I saw last year. I need to go back and check, but I think I can stand by that. Sorry, Whoopa, I missed.
Project Hail Mary was pretty good. What would you rate Project Hail Mary? I'm just curious.
I want to watch it again. I heard that they were going to do like this like 4-hour extended cut of it that I was really curious about. I don't know, man. Like, I think it's probably a 9.
Like, I thought it was really good.
I think like both of these probably, there's like very little. That's why I said I need to go back and watch Project Hail Mary again. It's not super fresh in my mind. But yeah, I mean, obviously we're not done with the year. There's going to be some competition for top 3 this year, I think.
No kidding.
Because I still have like hopes for the Furious. Dune 3, which I think will be good. I don't know if it's going to be like incredible. Godzilla -0. And there's probably a couple other things that I either am not aware of. Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of crap that's already come out this year, dude. I mean, my entire, like, for movies, television, like, I don't know if you've, like, looked at Spider Noir yet. I haven't watched all of it. I've only seen the first episode, but I like it so far.
Really?
And I think it's just fun, you know. And I love the noir stuff. I've got a soft spot for it, so it's like it kind of fills like a niche that you don't see very much. And it's just like different from a lot of the other like Spider-Man stuff they've been doing. So it's really cool to see that. I will eventually watch all of it, and then I'll tell you. We'll talk about it one of these days. And obviously, we had Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which was excellent. House of the Dragon, I think at minimum we'll both be like, yeah, it was pretty good.
I think we will.
I'm sure we'll have plenty of criticisms for it, but I think like for the most part, so like it's been a pretty solid year.
We were probably the few people who liked season 2.
Season 2, yeah. I don't think season 2 deserves all of the hate that it got. I think, like with a lot of things, feel like we tend to try to be a little more measured. Not all the time, but I feel like we try to give things a fair shake, and then it's just like
even if we say that we don't think this is going to be good, we still go into it with an objective mindset, like, hey, is this good or is it not?
Yeah.
Let it stand on its own merit.
Yeah. All right. So I won't say anything else about Obsession. I think it's great. I think that this probably will and should make its way sort of like into being a classic in that genre, especially. But it's just kind of something special, man, that like I did not see coming. Like I remember I never watched the trailer, and that was one thing I'm actually glad, because I did watch it before we started out of curiosity, and there's a lot of spoilers in that trailer for like what happens in the movie.
Really?
If you're paying attention. Yeah. It's surprisingly spoiler heavy. Like the trailer straight up shows you 3 or 4 scenes from the last like 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh, geez.
And if you're paying attention at all when you go to see it, you're gonna know what's going on. Like you'll be able to piece it together. So, avoid the trailer. If you're interested in it, definitely recommend watching it. It's a fun experience in the movie, but it's intense. It's not like.
Why is it intense? What makes it intense?
I think it's like just the whole situationship with their relationship and the way that they handle that and deal with their friends, and then just like the escalating insanity that's going on. And I think part of it is because it feels real. Like you can really,
Touches close.
yeah, you can feel like you could be in a situation like this, and you really, I think if you're paying attention to the movie, you really are feeling sorry for Nikki in all of this because she legitimately like doesn't have any control in what's going on, and they make that clear a few times in the movie. And then there's like,
do they come at it from the angle of the because that was the one thing I was curious on, if they were going to approach it from the angle of like the main character is the antagonist, like he's the villain of the story.
He is 100%, and that's why I'm saying like you at first you're like, and dude, what sucks about it is that I think they do a really good job in the first 15 or so minutes making him like you're empathizing with him, with the things that are going on with him. You see the relationship that he has with Nikki and his friends, and they really do set it up where you're like, dang, these people feel like people that I know and have hung out with and are in my life. And it's like some of the conversations that they have and other things that are going on. You're like, I know it's like Gen Z or whatever, but like that kind of stuff is generation. It goes across like the generations, right?
Right.
It's not so far removed from us, or I would say even like Gen X to a degree, where you go into this being like, I can't relate to these people at all. You know, it's not like that at all. They don't really like their jobs. They've been out of, you know, they're all like they're mid to moving into their late 20s, trying to figure out what they're doing with their lives. You know, Nikki like wants to leave. Whoopik's calling us filthy millennials. You know, so it's super relatable because everybody deals with this kind of stuff. And they're really, really likable, and you can see that Nikki and Bear have a connection to some degree. But again, it's like he isn't immediately the antagonist, but like the choices that he makes, especially after he makes the wish, I wouldn't even say like up until the point of him making the wish that you could call him the antagonist, but at some point he figures it out, and that's when you're like, yeah, he's not innocent in this anymore.
Yeah,
because he could. And there's even like a couple moments where you're like, I think they do a decent job of him like trying to figure it out and being like, okay, maybe I should figure out how to get out of this. And when he's presented with like opportunities and ways to do it, he can't bring himself to do any of it. And they do set her up as the victim. Like she doesn't have any control over what's going on in this situation. And I know like the memes and everything like aren't coming at it from that angle, but like that's the way that the movie is set up.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like I said, highly recommend. All right, Joseph, before we go,
watch it.
What?
For real, I'll try and watch it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I won't. Yeah. When you'll know the part that I'm talking about when it's coming. It's like when you hit like the last like 20 minutes of the movie, just know there's a scene where they all go to a party.
Okay.
That Bear's friends don't want him to bring Nikki to. It's after that.
Gotcha.
And there's a couple other things that happen in it. The other thing I thought was so funny is that when I was in the theater, there were some youngins in there. They were probably like 17, 18, something like that. And they were kind of like giggling at certain moments of it. And it's one of those things like, I want people to be quiet when I'm in the movie theater. Like I'm trying to watch a movie, guys. Like I'm paying more money than I feel like I should sometimes to go see movies. But there's like a couple things that happen, and at some point I realized like nobody in the theater was talking. Nobody was like even at stuff that was I thought was it's got like a lot of dark humor in it. And so like there was some stuff that was making me like chuckle or like laugh a little bit, but overall yeah, it was like it just dead silent at some point, and people were locked in. And it's kind of impressive that the movie was able to like get so many people to just do that. You know, a generation that's been like raised on iPads and TikTok is just hyper focused on this movie. And it's not a super short movie either. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, and it doesn't really feel that way. So
that's crazy, though. It really is true. You do make a good point that a generation that's so focused on TikTok and short form content that it's able to let them sit through it and watch it.
I think movies are kind of like that universal thing, man. And I think that you just have to find the stuff that resonates with people. And I think it's been a problem for the industry. And we're going to talk about this quote unquote millennial writing because we got to get into this God of War Laufey announcement. And I won't spend too much time on it. What have you seen like the trailer and everything, or have you kind of just seen the discourse that's been happening?
No, I watched the trailer.
Okay. I kind of want to hear your thoughts first, and then I watched the announcement, and then I watched the full like 20-minute gameplay thing they released.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I think it's pretty dumb to take a story where your protagonist is set and go in a completely different direction and still using the same moniker. If you wanted to create your own story this way, would have been fine. Just create something new, right? You're trying to capitalize off of the IP. We talk about this ad nauseum, time and time again.
Yeah, it's a good way of describing it.
You're trying to capitalize off of the IP to promote a story where it doesn't fit and doesn't work. There's nothing wrong with having a female lead in a story like this. Totally fine. But just make it your own. Don't try and take God of War any more so like, I don't know, if you took I think one that I saw was talking about Lara Croft and replacing her with a man to do something new. And go in a different
funny
direction.
enough, they did that and it was hyper successful.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's what Uncharted basically is.
Oh yeah. Well, they created something new though.
And it's super endearing, and the characters are great for the most part. Now, obviously, I think that's another conversation, but overall. And written by a woman, Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, and kind of 4.
There's nothing wrong with the gender aspect of it, right? It's more so just the bait and switch, you know. And I wouldn't even say bait and switch because that would
it's not even 100% that
gender swapping and creating something new.
And now, they're riding on the coattails of an incredibly popular franchise, and it's the only reason the moniker
stand on their own two legs.
Yeah, it's the only reason the moniker of God of War is in the title of that. Because they could have. First of all, I'll say this: this feels more like a DLC, like a side project, than it does. They're trying to write it into. And this is kind of one of the things that I realized after watching that like 20-minute trailer that I'm worried about the story overall. Because I like 2018 and Ragnarok. Picture.
What?
God,
What, David?
Joseph. For those of you listening to this on audio, he changed his picture to a very unflattering. His Discord profile picture to a very unflattering photo of the main character of Laufey, of Faye. So I'm gonna go back because I've been wanting to do it anyway. I need to go back and play 2018 and Ragnarok again, mostly for the story.
Are you gonna buy this and play it?
That was my original intention.
Now, if
Brother,
you do it, are you going to wear your No King shirt while you
and my pussy hat? Oh God, I want to choke. Okay, so that was my original intention, and I want to maybe still say yes. I might put myself through it. Brother, the dialogue in that 20-minute trailer is horrendous. I know everyone is talking about the sort of like culture war aspect of this game, whatever. Oh, I need to bring that up too. That's how we can end this. Is I can bring up this guy had a pretty good where is that? He had a pretty well thought out thing for this. Okay, I found it. I'll read this before we close out. But I'm telling you, I haven't seen enough people talking about how bad the dialogue is in this.
It's atrocious.
Which tells me a couple things. Now, believe me, I understand. When you're talking about video games, gameplay is king. I will not argue that. I get it. I've said this before on the show, I'm pretty sure, but I'll just repeat it again. There is room plenty for games that have good combat systems, good, actual gameplay systems, but are also trying to tell good stories. They're rare. They're still rare. I don't think that the gaming industry has come as far along in writing good stories as a lot of people think that they have. A lot of it to me still feels very like Marvel type of writing. It's very like, I would call it maybe like amateurish or immature, or just kind of boring. And I don't know what people are connecting to with a lot of that. And this isn't the time. Maybe this is something I'll do as like a side project, but breaking down dialogue from that, and then also breaking down the way that they're trying to weave this into the main narrative, something is like off about it. Now, the dialogue just straight up is bad. There's these stupid moments where like the characters are just straight up being like, hey, that thing kind of seems like a mystery, doesn't it? And it's like, oh, I can't even remember the exact line. I should have written it down. I'm terrible about this. Or like, there's a point where like Faye's fighting one of the other like god of war. It's like the big red demon looking guy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And she's like, why are you afraid of this sword? And you're like, how are you coming to that conclusion, Faye? And it's that dumb thing
Just
that,
saying things.
oh dude, the writing, oh dude, it's on the nose. It's not like, and this is the thing that you got to understand. You go back and you play 2018 and Ragnarok, and you pay attention to the dialogue and the pacing and the way that characters are introduced. The game does a very good job of keeping the mystery there, drip feeding you the Norse mythology, who these characters are, the like interesting stuff that's happening. Like, it's very, very well done. Like, 2018 probably deserves even more credit than I think it typically gets. It's wonderful. This is not that. This is at least like the gameplay like looks all right. It's kind of more of the same, I would think. I mean, they're going to change up the systems, I'm assuming, to some degree. And obviously, like, I think there's room to kind of wait to see more of it, because I don't think it's supposed to be coming out till next year. So we'll see. But what I have seen so far, I am not impressed by. It looks good. It's graphically, like, it looks good. I don't really have a problem with it. I know that it doesn't really look like the main character. There's this thing about like uggifying like women, and like her actress, like the woman who actually plays her, she's very pretty.
Yep.
It's kind of there, but then also I'm kind of on the fence with it. It feels like a bit of the culture war thing where people are just like looking for ammunition to use against it, and they're not always being like really fair or like even tempered about the way that they're handling this. But then the other side isn't either. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like people come out and they criticize, and then the other side goes, "Nuh-uh, you know." So you can't win on the internet, man. Like it's not even really about that. But I don't know why. First of all, I don't know. I'd have to go back and like play Ragnarok again with the perspective of them bringing Faye back, because I don't think that was originally the plan.
Ooh, you're probably right.
And
I just hit a snag and wanted to. How do we change directions here?
And I think this is kind of left over from the hyper, like, overtaking of like popular franchises.
Yep.
Because it's obviously been in development for a while because it looks really far along. There's a thing that they're referring to as like the cosmic cube, which I'm just like, that's literally a term from Marvel. The lead game design and the lead writer both were introduced to God of War allegedly in 2018. I think I'm getting that right. There was there was 2 videos that I watched. One of them was like the full like gameplay that they showed off, and then the other one was like them talking about it. Dude, they don't seem super excited about it. Like, dude, the super fans from Rings of Power were more convincing that they liked the thing in front of them than these people were.
Oh no.
It was very like, we're very excited about this, and we really God of War and blah. And there's just something weird about all of it. Not to mention everyone just being fatigued by the gaming industry doing this kind of stuff.
Yep. It's
like Ragnarok and 2018, hyper successful games. Ragnarok probably could have been split into 2 games. I think they should have just done a trilogy. I think there was more story there. Yeah, I think there was a lot more story there that you could have told. Essentially the way that, because these games are like relatively old now, but spoilers for the newer God of War games. So Baldur is the antagonist in the first one. He will not leave Kratos alone. And if I'm being totally honest, I don't remember why. It's too bad Jenna's not here because he could probably tell me. Kratos, to protect his son, I think it has something to do with his son. To protect his son, he kills Baldur. They figure out, because Baldur's essentially immortal, and they figure out a way to stop him with the help of his mother Freya, and they do that. So it's this mother-son relationship on one end and this father-son relationship on the other end. And nice. Freya gets really mad at Kratos to the point of wanting to kill him for killing Baldur. And so the second game opens up with Freya coming after Kratos. And I think that should have been the through line for that game, to where Freya at the end finally forgives Kratos, because that's sort of like the way that whole scenario has been like heading in, where Kratos is trying to put his past behind him and teach his son better and do better for the people that are around him. It's this redemption arc for him. And so like that was the through line for that. And then the third game could have been about them like taking on the rest of the Norse gods and like Odin's insane like power trip that he's on. Right. And then like Kratos dealing with the fact that he might have to like fight another like major pantheon again, and how he wants to go about doing that, which is Ragnarok too, but it's kind of all of that's kind of mushed into one game. So like the first half is kind of the Freya stuff, and the second half is more of the Odin stuff. And I think they should have made 2 games. I think the story would have benefited from it, and that's what they should have done instead of smushing it into one and then putting out this like side story about his dead wife.
Dead second wife, David.
Yeah, whatever. Fair enough. And she's great in Ragnarok. She's got, the mystery is still there. She's a loving mother. There's a strength to her, which I've never had a problem with. Some of that stuff's like hyper overblown these days. The only thing that anybody is like upset about Ragnarok with is the Agrabota stuff, which isn't very good anyway. I get it. I get it as a criticism. I don't think it's enough of the game to justify people being like, oh, it's a piece of trash. It's like, that's just not true. It's like, it's not fair. Yeah. But Laufey's not looking good, dude. I don't think I can sit through that kind of dialogue for like 20 hours. It's gonna make me go crazy. And I have a feeling they're really the writing team behind this. Corey Borlaug, who's the guy that he's the head of Santa Monica Studio, who's like doing all of this. At the end of that like 20-minute trailer, it's like him and this one lady that I guess he's worked for a long time, who's like one of the top people working on this game. He looks like he's being held at gunpoint from behind the camera, dude. Oh, I'm Corey Borlaug. I'm the head of Santa Monica Studio. I'm very excited about this new project. It's something I've been wanting to do since we introduced Faye. And I'm like, sure, my guy. Sure. You've never mentioned that, as far as I'm aware, before like this being announced. And now all of a sudden, because the original idea for that story was something that he wanted to do, a story that reminded him of his relationship with his son. Oh, and that was the thing that kind of the creative decision that got him to make 2018. And this, dude, I don't see it yet. I don't really want one of my partners to be like a Jello, a literal piece of square Jello, and the Jello talks and the sword talks. I think it's just I think the dialogue's going to be really bad, like really really bad. The trailer,
I don't think that's wrong for you to see.
I can't remember exactly what piece of dialogue it was where I just went, oh no. It might have been the one where it was like, oh, what's up with this weird mysterious sword? You know, like these things are so mysterious. What's going on? It's like in your face. It's not subtle at all. And I'm just like, it's like someone looked at 2018 and Ragnarok and was like, oh, I can do that. And it didn't understand how to make that happen at all.
Right.
Anyway, that's all I got to say on Laufey for now.
Same.
Also, I think they could have gone with a better title too. But the problem is like, I think we said this already, but like they want that moniker because I think they know that's the thing. Like, oh, it's God of War, but then you see it and people are just like, this isn't God of War.
Yep.
Like,
and they know that controversy is going to sell.
Kratos is in it. He's in the game. You're like, guys, it's not the point. It's like, why is this the story you decided to tell? You know, why are we pushing Faye to the front like this? I don't know if and it bugs me too on another level because it ruins the mystique of her character.
Right.
Because now they're just going to spell it out for you.
It unfoils that mystery that people just don't understand, that it's good to have mystery in things.
If you were going to do this, it should have been a smaller project and something you did a prequel story to like before she meets Kratos. And I don't think that's what this is. And now they're just going to explain exactly why she set things up the way she did, why she had to die, blah, blah, blah. But then like, brother, she wakes up from death in this other place and she's like, oh, Kratos, Atreus. It's like, lady, I thought you knew you died. Why are you waking up like it's a bad dream? Like, that's weird. And then like, this place that they're talking about is a place where allegedly when the gods die, it's where they all go. And I'm like, well, wouldn't they all know that? Like,
yeah, right.
What I'm
wouldn't
like,
they understand that?
Wouldn't someone, for as long as these people and as powerful as most of these people are, you're telling me that it never got around to any of them, that there's this basically life after this, like afterlife for the gods. That isn't like Valhalla. It isn't like whatever. And I have a feeling they're really going to muck up the continuation of this, like the lore. And like drive it into a place that is not very good. And And then this game will come out, probably won't do very well. There'll be lots of ists and phobes screamed, and then everyone will forget about this in a year after it comes out. Yeah. Probably faster than that. So we'll see, dude. I might do it for science. And I was trying to be like positive about it. And I was like, all right. I'm going to watch the 20 minutes. I'm going to make up my own mind. And by the time it was done, I was like, oh no. There's just a lot of signs that it's probably not going to be very good.
In the right direction.
Yeah. People are like, well, the combat looks good. I was like, yeah, but like this is like a modern God of War game. Like your writing and your dialogue has to be sharp, and it's not. It feels very Marvel-y with like bringing in the Jello. You know, it's like
that's not good.
God of War had one talking companion who was kind of quirky. What if we did two? Like, no. And I even think there's like parts in Ragnarok where like they should have cut like some of the dialogue, because it's got a little bit of the, hey, maybe you should throw your chain at that thing to swing across the gap, and it's like, okay, just let me figure it out myself. It was
right.
There were sprinkles of that in there. Thankfully, there's not a ton of it. And it's like all
that's one thing I like
about
God
games.
of War. From what I remember playing it, is it's one of the few games where I enjoyed the puzzles, because it didn't seem, I don't know, maybe it's a different setup from Crimson Desert.
Yeah,
but one of the things that
Crimson Desert's a little too vague.
is the puzzles, man. I'm just like, goodness, dude.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that it's kind of beating your head against a wall with some of the puzzles in Crimson Desert, but I'm not a huge fan of them.
Yeah.
I don't. There's like a couple of them where it requires you to literally like travel all over the map to figure the puzzle out just to get a single upgrade thing, and I'm like, guys, no.
Yeah.
No, that's what you do to get me like a real powerful weapon. Like there's a quest line in Ocarina of Time, which they're making a full-on remake of that for Switch 2.
I know.
We'll see. I want to see real gameplay of it. I want to see what they do with it before I'm like bought in, but I just need to borrow somebody's Switch 2, though. I don't know if I don't want to pay $500 to play a game that I beat 100 times when I was 10.
Yeah. Kayla's excited for it. She's never played it.
Oh, dude. So. I love the original one. Love it to death. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's just we're in a weird phase with the gaming industry right now that I think they just haven't quite learned yet. They're very stubborn with this kind of stuff. And I think there's a lot of companies that have slowly figured it out and have quietly just decided not to do this stuff anymore. I don't think you're ever going to see like major apologies for these kinds of things. But I think projects getting announced and greenlit and the indie scene really taking off, because there's really not a lot of that going in that direction unless people are specifically looking for it. It exists in the indie space, but it's not like in your face, right? Like you have to go look for, if you're into those kinds of games or like whatever, you have to go look for them.
Right.
Whereas like in the indie space, the stuff that like a majority of people are really interested in and it's like doing really well, that'll rise to the top for one reason or another. And then you look at it and you go, cool, that could be good. Maybe I'll try that. And if you're like, nah, that looks stupid, the devs aren't coming out being like, how dare you? You know, they're like, all right, cool. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, Joseph, anything else you want to add before we close out?
No, that's all I got, man.
Awesome. Well, let me know if you ever decide to sit down and watch Obsession. If you do,
you know I will.
We might have to do a follow-up and then just take some time to actually do like a breakdown.
100%.
And really like talk about it. All right. Well, I'm going to see The Furious next Tuesday, so I'll have that to talk about.
Me too.
I
don't know if I'll be able to see it Tuesday, though. When's it comes out this weekend?
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow. Technically,
nice.
Thursday. So like for Friday this weekend. And
I'll try and watch it at my theater too, David.
Yeah, you do that. And we'll see if I get to Spider Noir this weekend. It's not like super high on my list, and I still want to see the back rooms. So I need to try to figure that out too. But I don't. It's hard to find time to get all this stuff done. But I do want to see it. Obsession kind of piqued my interest a little more than the Backrooms did. But I hear good things. It's a little more controversial as far as like whether people liked it or not. I don't think it's kind of getting quite the universal praise that Obsession did. I say universal praise. Right. I'm sure people didn't like it, but it's way more people are positive on Obsession than I think the Backrooms. But they're different. You know, it's a different experience. One's, I think, a little more like obscure. You know, Backrooms isn't.
Yeah,
it's like straightforward, I guess, would be the way to describe it. Cool. We'll have a good bit to talk about next week. I'm sure there's going to be more news. Who knows what other announcement or, you know, insane drama might come around. There's plenty to talk about. And we're getting close to House of the Dragon.
Yeah, we are, man.
July?
June 21st.
June 21st. Okay. You were telling me, are you going to be gone for that first episode?
No, I'm going to be gone in July between the 11th and the 19th. So
we'll get
on Wednesday, we won't be able to do. Yeah, we'll do 2 the following week on July 22nd.
But we'll get episode 1 and 2 in before that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm just making sure I have it in my head right. Cool. That's fine then.
Because it comes out, let's see, we're in June. It comes out the 21st, so we'll get 1, 2, 3 in.
3.
We'll get the first 3 episodes in, and then 4 and 5 we'll review on the 22nd, unless
maybe I'll bring in technically. Maybe I'll bring technically in for episode 4, and then that way we can kind of keep the flow going.
Yeah.
We may have him on for more than one episode though, because that was fun last time.
It was fun. Always got to have on our friendly, The Last Jedi lover.
Yeah. Number 1 Last Jedi fan, technically Mexican.
Yeah. That's what he should change his name to. Technically number 1 Last Jedi.
Need to figure out a way to like troll him with that. All right, dude.
We should Photoshop and create an image of that. Just like
he's got like one of those foam fingers.
Join his live and just start pasting it in the chat.
Give him his own emoji on our Discord.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Give me 2 minutes because I do want to read this before we go about this whole like situation. So, it says this is from Sir D on X. It says, let me quickly summarize the new God of War Laufey controversy, but without any strawman arguments such as accusing people of fearing women. Western game studios were politicized thanks to activist employees and activist investors. Some people pass the litmus test so they understand that politicizing a fictional hobby about fun and escapism is bad. Some fail the litmus test so they write off criticism they do not understand as hate, which I think is pretty accurate. Some agree with the agenda, so they write off criticism they dislike as hate. Underneath it all is a leftist ideology that believes attractive female characters equals sexualization, objectification, and misogyny, and an obsession with diversity and inclusion. Enter Western game developers deliberately designing female fictional characters who are ugly. People rightly point out that she's ugly, though I don't... Yeah, they definitely changed her model from Ragnarok to this one. They made her a little more rough looking.
Yeah.
Anyway, people rightly point out that she's ugly. Other people get mad and incorrectly assume that means we're calling the actress ugly. We are not. Also, some people find it a bit weird that a game called God of War, which has been about Kratos, the God of War, is backseating him for a new woman. Some speculate that this is the result of the aforementioned politicization because pattern recognition and left-wing activists' obsession with inclusion. The God of War developers are based in California. The end. Hope this helps. And I think trying to be like clear about when this won't help. People will still claim that they don't understand like the argument and that it's just about like hating women when it's not the case. But one of my favorite things that they said in here is that there's this ideology that believes that attractive female characters equals sexualization. It's this really weird thing that you see where someone's like, why does she like they're saying like, why does she look less attractive than the woman who actually plays her? And a lot of people have been arguing these days.
That's the point.
Yeah. they've been arguing these days that like the people who are voice acting these things, like they need to stop modeling the characters after the voice actors.
Yeah.
Like give some character. It's fine, whatever, but like it used to be that you would design a character and then just like find someone that you felt like fit the voice of that character. And now it's like, and again, I think this is part of that like ideology that a lot of people in that industry have, where it's like if you don't look exactly like that person, you are not allowed to voice them, which is silly. It's a silly idea. And it is true that it's like there's this weird thing where if you're like, wow, she's attractive, it's automatically like related to like porn.
Oh yeah.
Like the number of times like you see stuff like that where it's like, why is that what you see? You know, and that's the question is like, why are you saying like, well, why are they making her less attractive? And it's like, well, what, she's supposed to be like a porn star? And you're like, what? Whoa, like why are you equating those two things like that? Like that's a weird line of thought.
Right.
So
that's just the internet for you, man.
Yeah, unfortunately. And like I said, ultimately, like I agree. I just like I'm more hyper focused on the dialogue and the story and like what they're doing with those things and how it's probably not going to be very good for that franchise. But we'll see. You never know. It's probably too far in development for them to make a lot of changes, but I almost forgot to read that, so I just wanted to make sure I got that out. Cool, dude. Well,
Send that to me if you would.
That note, yes, I will save. I've got it saved. I'll send it to you. On that note, Joseph, and everyone who is either here or who will be listening to this later, thank you all so much. And until next time, y'all take it easy.
See ya.